Lamine Yamal? Like, what do you see in this young player?
I see huge potential, great talent. He need luck because he's very young. I hope he not gets some problems. And I think he have huge potential. But let's see during his way that's what's gonna happen. But I believe that he's gonna do it. He's gonna be the best players for this new generation.
Such words from a man like Cristiano Ronaldo to a 17-year-old boy say a lot. Rafinha is certainly having a fantastic season, is one of Barcelona's captains, and is a contender for the Golden Ball. But even in this form, Hansi Flick uses him as a left winger when his main position has always been on the right. But now this position is firmly secured for Yamal, and even the prime Rafinha is not able to displace this prodigy from the right flank. His ability is difficult to describe in words. He was impressive last season, but this year the guy has improved even more. He is doing something incredible. In the match against Bayern in the general stage of the Champions League, the Brazilian scored a hat-trick. But everyone who watched that match will confidently say that the main player in the attack was still Lamine. Alphonso Davies was afraid to move forward because Yamal was always ready to run behind him. But the Spaniard's most impressive performance came a few days later in the match against Real Madrid. Blancas entered that match as favorites with an incredible unbeaten streak behind them, and there was only one match left to set a new La Liga record which previously belonged to Barcelona. It was Yamal who put the finishing touches on that match, shooting into the top corner with his off foot, and celebrating the goal in Cristiano style. The guy who appeared out of nowhere demonstrates a surprisingly mature game and gathers an incredible level of hype around himself. The youngest player to play at the Euro. The youngest player to score and provide an assist there. And finally, the youngest player to win the European Championship. The last achievement is especially impressive. He beat the record of Pyle, who was 17 when the Brazilian won the World Cup in 1958, and Lamine was still 16 at the time. The Spaniard gets better from match to match regardless of who coaches the team he plays for. Be it Xavi, Flick or De La Fuente. If Xavi revealed this talent to the world, then the coach of the Spanish national team continued his work, which resulted in victory at the Euro. Lamine himself received the award as the best young player of the tournament. And under Flick, Yamal has become an untouchable player in the main team. Every time he goes on the field, he sets some kind of record. And this is actually not quite normal. At 16, he is already one of the best players in the world. Not Cristiano Ronaldo, not Lionel Messi, not even the new generations like Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland. None of them were this good at 16.
Because I saw a lot of young, talented players, but first time in my life I saw that I have inside this, wow, who is it? About Musiala also he had something, you know, but Lamine, the first thing I was, wow, this guy is like, how is possible in this age? He is already on this kind of level, you know, and even that he was 16 years old, that was still like, come on, it's impossible to be so good.
Everyone can see how special Lamine is. He is not shy or reserved at all. He feels confident playing against people twice his age. He feints, dribbles, shoots, assists, scores, shows persistence and determination. Yes, Amasia occasionally produces super talented guys who quickly find themselves in the first team. But even more impressive is the fact that Yamal made his debut in the senior team at the age of 15. Surely Barcelona's plan was to gradually integrate this young talent into the squad, but his performances each time convinced everyone that he was ready to be a full member of the team. The club let Ousmane Dembele go, and many considered it a mistake, especially given the Frenchman's current form. But Yamal soon proved that the Catalans were right to bet on him. Just like you choosing to watch Futiki. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as to our Telegram. During the decline of Xavi's reign in Barcelona, the team became increasingly predictable. Everyone understood that they would constantly try to supply Robert Lewandowski with a sword through the flank. Due to the not very flexible tactics, the wingers, as a rule, were tied to the flanks, which affected creativity. Nevertheless, Lamine had an amazing season, but everyone understood that he was capable of more. But then a new person appeared at the helm of the team. Hansi Flick brought a lot of new things to the game of Barcelona. The attacking players are now more mobile and creative, which makes them less predictable, and Yamal himself has more opportunities to prove himself due to the freedom provided. At the moment, Barcelona has scored more goals than in the entire previous season. Thanks to this attacking style, Yamal began to flourish even more. He often finds himself in his favorite situation when he needs to deal with a defender one-on-one. Yes, Lamine is a great example of pure natural talent. But what also makes him stand out is his professional qualities, which the German specialist also noted. It would be hard to call him lazy, because in addition to attacking actions, he also does not neglect pressing and working in his half of the field, constantly dropping to help his partners. This is an extremely rare quality for a modern winger. You don't have to go far for examples. Vinicius Jr., Maduik and Martinelli often refuse such a volume of dirty work. Such a game not only makes life easier for teammates, it is also necessary for building the game that Flick sets. The thing is that today's Barcelona does not wait for the weather by the sea, but prefers to move a lot, press, and create as many moments as possible. The number of goals scored can serve as confirmation of these words, and this despite the fact that Barcelona does not have a lead in the Spanish Championship and was not in first place in the Champions League. And why? Because such a risky game leaves Brisci on the defensive. So players are needed who are ready to run back and forth throughout the match, which Yamal has in full order. What also distinguishes him from, for example, Fedi is the lack of injuries. The only time Lamine got injured was in the match against Denmark, and he had to miss several games. This injury showed that the Spaniard plays too much and needs to be given a rest so that the situation with Fedi does not repeat itself. It was at this point that Barcelona had problems, followed by a loss of points. This once again shows how important this 17-year-old guy is for a club like Barcelona. The team has many young talents from the academy. Marc Casido, Pau Cubarsí, Bold, but it is obvious that Yamal stands out from them. At 15, he played in the Barcelona academy. He played in the youth team of Spain, and in parallel with his debut in Bar. But what in the end distinguishes him from the rest of them? He does what is required of any professional footballer, but he does it in a way that most cannot. If you look at his game, you will notice that he does not do anything unreal. All his actions are quite simple, but the way he does it is amazing. Doing simple things better than others, and at such a young age, that is what distinguishes him from others. As they say, everything ingenious is simple. Of course, he feints, there is no other way to do it in football. But his feints are not about beauty, but about efficiency. He does everything to deliver the ball to the opponent's penalty area as quickly as possible, using the shortest routes. He is as good at dribbling as he is at scoring goals. In addition, he is not greedy at all playing for the team. On average, he makes 11 goal attempts per match, which is better than 99 of La Liga players. He also averages 6 successful dribbling attempts per match, which is also better than 99 of Spanish Championship players. But of course, one question is in the air. Will Yamal become the new Messi? Whatever anyone says, we all remember the case of Ansu Fati, who even inherited the legendary number, but soon faded away as quickly as he once caught fire. Therefore, in the case of Yamal, it is too early to draw conclusions, and if we do, then very carefully. All we need is to simply enjoy his game until he properly matures.